I know there's so many different issues going on at Liverpool right now, so it's hard to really pick one or know what to discuss. But for me, there is one specific place that I thought about this morning where I was just like, this epitomizes everything that's wrong at the club right now and what I think is the job of a coach or a manager, whatever. I think we call him a coach, Arne, but it is to get the best out of his players. And we spent a record £125 million on Alexander Isak in the summer, right? When you sign a star player, one of the best strikers in the world last season, you have a plan for him. You have a plan for him. And what concerned me so much yesterday in that performance where we played at Anfield against Nottingham Forest, who started off the day in 19th place, is how we utilized Alexander Isak. He had a total of 14 touches in 68 minutes of football. 14 touches, 2 of them were in the opposition box. When he was at Newcastle, he had players feeding him on the wings. But look, we brought him in and it's as if we're not changing our system to suit him. You don't spend that amount of money on such a good player and not try to suit your system to that player. You know, we know Cody Gakpo and Mohamed Salah are players that like to pick up the ball and take quite a lot of touches. But that's not going to get the best out of Alexander Isak. And this is why, me personally, yes, I understand he could be doing more. He could be pressing more. He could be dropping deeper maybe. But overall, for me, the big concern, and I know you might think, why are you just highlighting this one problem? Because like I said, for me, it epitomizes something bigger, which is what's the plan? What's the plan with our system? Where ultimately, I think systems or how you set up tactically is literally the main goal is to get the best out of your players. And that's the opposite of what's happening right now, you know? And I'm not going to be reactionary like some saying, oh, Alexander Isak is a flop. Alexander Isak's not good enough. Nah, I fully believe he has the ability to be a world-class player for Liverpool. It's just the system isn't suited to him. And some of you might also think, well, he's only just returned from injury, right? But for me, that's not an excuse either, because if he's not fully fit or Slot doesn't have an idea on how to implement him in the system, then start Hugo Ekitike in this absolute must-win game after the international break. He was on the bench. He was on fire for France during this international break. He could have even started him on the left wing because he's that type of player that can make something happen out of nothing. But he even was on the bench. So for me, there's no excuses around that whatsoever, you know? But let me know what you guys think the plan is, or how we can start to change our system to suit, you know, an Alexander Isak or someone that you think we'd build kind of our team around. You would think that, right? Because of us spending £125 million on him. And I know maybe the fee, we need to just put the fee out of the window. But the thing is, that, like, he's in his prime right now. He's 26 years old. And if we brought in a player like this, there has to be a plan. Just like with Florian Wirtz, look at the amount of different positions he's occupied in this Liverpool team. It's like with him, there is no plan. And what I don't understand is if we bring in these players like Milos Kerkez, right? If we bring in these players for major money for their different positions, there's got to be a plan for them. There's got to be a plan, and that's for me the most concerning thing. Is it feels like we've brought in all this quality it's undisputed quality from what we saw last season. And what I'm seeing is there is no plan for those players, you know, and I'm specifically saying Alexander Isak now because I was so optimistic going into this game because I always remind myself of how good he was for Newcastle last season and how every Liverpool fan wanted him this summer. And yeah, you watch that game and he's able to have zero impact. Like I said, 14 touches. That's so concerning to me. It's so concerning to me because we can talk about our defensive issues. Obviously, the fact we've conceded 20 goals already this season. But for me, it's like even on the other side of the pitch, you know, on the attacking side. And we could talk about our midfield too, bro. We could highlight every part. But I think what I want to try to highlight here and what I'm doing with Alexander Isak is like these major signings that we brought in this summer is what's the plan, Anisla? What is the plan? Our coaching staff, what is the plan with these players? Because I saw some people before saying, this is what happens, like when talking about Wirtz, for example. This is what happens when you bring in big money players from the Bundesliga. Bro, Alexander Isak was ready-made in the Premier League. That's why he cost how much he did. And for people saying, but he just had a great season last season. Nah, bro, I'm sorry. Alexander Isak, I had watched him during his Real Sociedad days. He's been a top player for many, many years. There's no disputing that. I'm not going to be reactionary around that. But now your job is to get the best out of your players, and he's really failing to do that. And, usually, and this is the other thing too, is it's like if, let's say, you got to also give time to your new signings. But if that's the case where Slot doesn't feel like his signings are ready to perform yet, then give them time to bet into the team like Slot used to do. Remember what he did with Andy Robertson. Remember what he did with Fabinho. Give him time. If Kirkez isn't ready for the Premier League, start Robbo in the Premier League. We need to be picking up points in the Premier League. And if that means starting Kirkez in the Champions League or the Cup games, then do that. But what I don't understand is he has options. He has options. And if he feels that his new signings aren't ready for the task, then give them time. But don't put them in these pressurized situations where there's millions watching with no plan for them, because it makes them look so bad, which they aren't. I'm not going to be reactionary around that. These are top players, and we're making them look average within this system, within this team. And for me, that is the most concerning thing right now, because now there's been time for Slot and our coaching staff to correct these things. For example, during this international break, he would have had weeks to think about his lineup, right? I'm sure it wasn't just 24 hours before the game that he decided to go with this lineup, right? I'm sure. So if he had been planning from over a week ago to start Alexander Isak, let's just say, right? Then surely he has a plan for how we're going to get Alexander Isak in this game. Surely there's a plan around that. You know what I mean? And I didn't see that yesterday. It's just like with Newcastle, the way they got the best out of Isak, I think it's because you had Jacob Murphy on one side, you had Gordon on the other, and they were just feeding those crosses. It was quick, it was incisive, and I know it's different setups because Newcastle could play on the counterattack, and that probably suited Isak, better, but there's still an in-between. There's something, like we have to have a vision with how our wingers or our midfield will get Alexander Isak involved in the game. And again, I understand some of you guys might be thinking, again, stop highlighting just one player when there's much bigger issues going on. But I just wanted to use this example here, and it's what I thought about waking up this morning, because for me it epitomizes this bigger thing, which is, what's the plan? Slot, what is the plan? And where I can't have excuses, is because there are options. This is a very strong Liverpool team. And like I said, if you feel certain players aren't ready, aren't fully fit, need time to bet into... Oh gosh, guys, my computer, my camera, whatever, it may be completely crashed out on me. I think it can feel the tension. I think they can feel how I feel right now, and my computer just crashed. But anyways, just to sum up my point, I'm really concerned. And I know I'm not the only one that's concerned right now. And trust me, I want to be positive. I just need to see something here. I need to see something. And the fact that we had this time during the international break and I saw nothing, we saw nothing, is so concerning to me. And it's depressing right now, because we have so many games coming up. And I want to try to think about how things will improve, but it's hard to. So I want to know, let me know in the comments if you, like me, are concerned about the fact that with whatever system he's trialing right now, this coaching staff is trialing, that they're not getting the best out of any of our players, and that there are options, but that they don't seem to be used. Let me know if you feel the same frustration. And I was about to say I'm going to go on a walk, but it's freaking pouring here in France too. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but I need to I'm going to cook just to work on some carrots. I'm going to shred some carrots to help with it. But you know what I mean? It's not like we can just step away from Liverpool, because like I said, there's so many games coming up. So we have to lock in, you guys. We have to just feel it all, unfortunately. These are the down moments in football. But man, Slot, just please show me something. This team, please show us something, because it can't keep going like this. Can't keep going like this. Anyways, guys, as always, thank you for your support. You'll never walk alone. I'll see you in the next one.